Cathie Wood just released a new video explaining the chip shortages, the supply chain issues for the automotive industry, especially as well for the EV makers, and why the sales have been dropping so dramatically over the past few months. So, if you're an investor in any of these, I recommend to watch the whole video to get the full picture. So, with further ado, let's start and see what Cathie is saying to the supply chain shortages and the overall automotive industry and how Corona affected them.
As you know, last year, we anticipated high inflation. It's a little higher than we thought, not much. One of the reasons was because of the base effect, the collapse in prices around the coronavirus last year. Well, we are passing through that, and still these numbers are high. So we do have to answer to that. And one of the reasons, and again, this is in the headlines quite a bit as well, are supply chain shortages. And some of those are real. We do believe the chip shortage is real, but we also believe that this notion that businesses were caught flat-footed during the coronavirus when they shut down.
Exactly.
They just shut down, and then with stimulus checks, the consumer took off. Businesses have been scrambling for the last year to catch up with consumers. And to do so, we believe there has been a lot of double and triple ordering, ordering more than their own forecasts suggested would be necessary. And I think this is especially true in the chip sector and specifically in the auto sector. And that's the industry in trying to explain the collapse in its sales here in the United States from roughly 18.5 million cars sold that was in April, to it looks like 12.3, something like that, in September. I mean, that's...
So folks, not only the automotive industry is affected, all the other industry which are producing goods are affected. Means during the Corona pandemic, we have been loading up on goods, not only cars, PCs, TVs, whatever things you needed at home. And in order to compensate this, the companies have been ordering triple of everything they needed in order to produce the stuff, right? So, but right now we are coming out of Corona, and what Cathie is basically saying, and I mentioned this already in prior videos of mine, right now we have a transition away from goods and we move to services, okay? So bear that in mind.
That's a recession-like decline. Well, one of the reasons that's happening is there was a lot of pre-buying last year in an effort to avoid mass transit. There was a huge rebound in the auto sector. It was a much sharper rebound than we've seen coming out of any other recession, including 08, 09. So there was a lot of pre-buying. And when I say the inventory pileup is in the garage and the driveway, that's what I mean.
So I don't know what you did when Corona hit, but I know for the fact that most of the people and my friends and family and so on have been loading up on goods via the Corona pandemic, because they don't want to drive a bus, they don't want to take the subway or whatsoever. So the people that don't have a car, they were buying a car in order to move around, okay, and not using public transportation and getting infected.
We are hearing that that from a number of companies, Lisa Su at AMD, Elon Musk, both are saying, and then actually today GM said that they see the chip shortage loosening up here. And my guess is we're going to find out from price declines in chips just how much excess inventory there is out there. Before I continue with the auto sector, just if you look at Clorox and their sales, they've gone into decline. Why? Again, the inventories are in the households. Back to autos. We know that chip supply is starting to come on from not only Taiwan, incremental supply, but also Korea. My experience with Korea is...
And if you have seen my video about BYD and their subsidiary BYD Semiconductor, now you understand why I was saying why the impact was so dramatic that they couldn't go public, because they had problems with the CCP. And it would be a dream if they could have gone public, but it didn't happen, and I think they lost a lot of money because they could have ramped up the industry and make a lot of profit here. So not only Taiwan and Korea is making semiconductors, Germany as well, the States as well, all we know, but BYD could have been ramping up the production when they had the chance to go public and get some money in order to grow. Okay?
Is that once it makes its mind to ramp in a sector, the ramp is significant and it's aggressive. So I don't think the chip shortage is going to be with us much longer. Now, on the auto sector, I would say the other thing that's happening is that now that consumers have bought that car and don't have to take mass transit, we're probably looking at a situation where the next car that consumers will want to buy is electric. I think that might be a part of what's going on with this dramatic decline in auto sales from 18.5 million to 12 million at an annual rate in the last month. I mean, again, we're not in a recession yet. I don't think that drop was just because of shortages. And I do think that the auto manufacturers have the wrong products in their pipeline. They'll have to switch much more quickly to electric if they can.
Exactly. I mean, who will buy now a petrol-fueled car if the states have to make the transition, not only the US, I'm talking about Germany, Europe, China, Australia, everyone has the target to change until 2030 to go away from petrol-fueled cars and to change them to EVs. So everyone is holding back right now and not buying any petrol-fueled cars because it makes no sense. They know that they have to switch to EVs, but the people are waiting because the infrastructure for charging, etc., are not really great yet, okay? And in China, actually, they are way better than in the States or in Europe. So the people are waiting until the old car breaks down, is not working anymore, and then they will think about to buy a new car, okay? And that will be a EV.
Now, if we're right, then what we're going to see is prices coming down. I think of Wile E. Coyote running to catch up, as businesses have, and only to look down because the demand is not going to be as high as businesses expected. We are already seeing some prices come down.
As well, the prices will go down for the EVs. As I mentioned already in my last videos, why it will go down by using the ARK Invest study Big Ideas 2021 for electric vehicles, okay? It means that the prices for the batteries will go down by the half until 2025 even, okay? And that makes the EV cars way cheaper. So my guess for the future is for Tesla will be ramping up the sales in the United States and in Europe, but I think the sales will go down in China. And for the Chinese EV makers, I think most of the sales will happen in China and in Europe as well, but I doubt that they will have a big market in the US. Okay, and another fact is that China's funding of the EV makers have been reduced, and they're selecting only the biggest companies. So startups won't get funded that much anymore. So bear that in mind if you want to invest in a startup EV company in China. So to sum this up, I think Cathie is pretty much right. The chip shortage was due that a lot of EV companies and automotive companies have been buying more than they actually needed. And with the sales going down right now for the normal automotive industry, I think there will be enough chips for the EV companies in order to ramp up their production. So I don't think that we need to be worried over the next month and years that there will not be enough chips in order to produce EVs. Okay? Well, folks, that's it for today. I hope you liked the video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up. Have a great day, and as always, stay focused and don't get greedy. See you all next time.